ESPN, the Total Sports Network presents the 1996 American Legion World Series Championship game from Roseburg, Oregon, a matchup of Gonzales, Louisiana, and Yardley, Pennsylvania, each team with one loss in this double elimination tournament. This is the championship game for 1996. We welcome all of you to the state of Oregon, the beautiful state of Oregon. My name is John Sanders. 5 days ago, there were 8 teams from around the country here to battle for the championship. We are down to the final 2. This is the World Series, and working with me today, a guy who knows about World Series play. Dave Henderson, back in 1989, bidding for a 3rd home run in a World Series game, and he came oh so close. Dave Henderson, who wanted it, did not quite get that one. But World Series experience, we welcome you a chance to watch some young men in a different kind of World Series.
But it's the same thing at the time of their lives. This is World Series for them. That was mine.
Gonzales, Louisiana, took the hard road to get here. Matter of fact, they lost their opening game to Yardley, and they have had to battle back throughout this entire tournament, but they've made it.
I think the tough thing they have to face is they have 14 players. The rest of the field have 18 or 19 players, and it's rough on them.
And they did lose that opener. They did climb back. They also lost their first game in the regional. But the good news for them, they've had 4 consecutive complete games. Yardley, on the other hand, has been in the driver's seat from the beginning. They were the last undefeated team. Thus, they automatically had the bye if they lost yesterday, which they did, to this championship game. So they're rested and they're ready.
Yeah, they got to sit at the hotel and watch this game today. And, you know, Gonzales was out there battling. I think they'll crank it up.
You have to remember that these two teams did meet in their first game in the World Series. That was a 10-9 victory for Yardley. We'll see what happens here today. Gonzales, Louisiana, and Yardley, Pennsylvania get set for the American Legion World Championship game. It's next on ESPN. Welcome back. We are just about set to start this championship game in Roseburg, Oregon. Let's set the starting lineup for the Gonzales, Louisiana team. Post 81, managed by Mike Toops. Leading off and playing left field tonight, it'll be James Matassa. The catcher, batting second, Andy Fontenot. In the number 3 spot is the shortstop, Reggie Ritchie. Batting fourth is the cleanup hitter, the first baseman, Christian Bourgeois. Batting fifth, the DH, James Gyro. In the number 6 spot, it's the center fielder, Dave Burke. Batting seventh and playing right field tonight is Tandem Luke. Batting eighth is the second baseman, Casey Lambert. Batting ninth and playing third, it's Chet Fontenot.
And playing right field, Chris Crossan. And center field, John Wakely. Left field, John Hiller. Third base, Sean Haynes. Shortstop, Keith Ballant. Second base, Joe Ferraro. First base, Brian Moore. And the catcher, Mike Murphy. And on the mound, Ed Soley.
And Ed Soley, a record of 2-1 in tournament play. And we want to remind you that all of the numbers that we have are not just from the World Series. They are also from the regionals that led to the World Series. That is considered the entire tournament. So the 17-year-old Ed Soley to face James Matassa, hit .330 in the regular season, batting .265. There are his numbers. 5'8", 165 pounds, 17 years old. He hits the first pitch over the third baseman's head and into right field. And this is a hot swinging team, Dave. The team batting average in tournament play of .360 and averaging about 10 runs a game.
And these guys, they've been hitting the ball all week and for the last 3 weeks, and they're scoring about 10 runs a game, and they've got speed on the bases, and they're ready to go again.
They have scored 103 runs in 11 tournament games. Eddie Soley pitched 2/3 of an inning when these two teams met on the opening game last Friday, and then a complete game victory. 1 of 4 in a row that the pitching staff put together. Soley throws ball 1 inside. 1 ball, no strikes. The batter is Andy Fontenot, the catcher. Fontenot hit .303 in the regular season. For Gonzales, Louisiana, post 81. A lot of bunting here, and that one's foul.
Yeah, you'll notice that. These guys like to put the pressure on the defense. They bunt and get that runner down to second and go for all those base hits and get big innings.
Fontenot in the tournament is batting .333. No homers and 8 runs batted in, and neither one of these teams, Dave, hit a lot of home runs. Don't have that much power.
No, but they do put the ball in play. This Gonzales club, they hit the ball real hard, and they make your mistakes add up to a lot of runs.
Throw over, and Matassa is back. Andy Webb is the first base coach for Gonzales. And the manager, Mike Toops, is the third base coach. There's Andy. A chance to visit with them earlier today. The breaking ball, a called strike. And on the play, a delayed steal, and Matassa picks up second base.
And Matassa jumps right out of the hole with his stolen base. He picks a great pitch to run on. It's a slow breaking ball. It's a good jump. He doesn't peek in, so he's still in all the way. He picks a slow breaking ball, and he's in there easy.
That is his third stolen base in the tournament. He's been caught a couple of times, and that's hit through the left side. They'll send the runner. Here comes Matassa. The throw will have to go to second base, and it's a quick start for Gonzales, Louisiana. They break out on top 1-0. Fontenot picking up his 9th run batted in the tournament.
And I think this is exactly what the coach didn't want. These guys jump out on top. He gets a breaking ball, hits it through the hole. Runner gets a great jump off second base, and he scores easy.
The stolen base pays off. They don't look like a team that just played a 9-inning game about an hour ago. They won that game with ease, eliminating Midland, Michigan 11-3. They had a 5-run second, a 5-run fourth, so they are capable of putting runs on the board in a hurry. You're looking at Reggie Ritchie. He is checking in with Mike Toops, a 17-year-old. Hit .297 in the regular season, batting .293 in the tournament. The runner going again. This one is lifted in the air to right field. Cruson back and makes the play on the track, and back to first is Fontenot. Well, they are ready to run, obviously.
Wow, it looks like the last game hadn't stopped for these guys. They're ready to run. They're putting pressure on the defense and hit and running. And he's got the third hitters hit and running, so he wants to score quick and early.
Kristen Bourgeois will be the batter. Bourgeois, the cleanup hitter, is having an outstanding tournament. He's 18 years old. Hit .369 in the regular season, and in tournament play, he is batting .426. One of the concerns and one of the things that his coaches and manager don't understand is no school has really come after him collegiately to play baseball.
And my thought is he's such a good football player. The football people are looking at him to offer him scholarship.
Outside corner for a strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike. Home plate umpire is Glenn Wood tonight. We have a 6-man crew for this World Series championship game. There's Glenn Wood, who will call the balls and strikes. We'll sort out the rest of our crew, and they've done a good job all week long. The weather's been good, as we mentioned at the start of the tournament. Very hot in the Northwest, but the last couple of days it has cooled off nicely.
Right, we got a little breeze blowing in, so that might be another reason we're doing a lot of hit and running and stealing bases.
Pretty big ballpark, actually. The fence is higher in center, where it is 385 feet straight away. It's 320 down the lines, and we estimated, what, maybe 355 or so in the alleys.
It's a nice ballpark. Nice ballpark to hit in, and these guys have been taking advantage of those big gaps.
3 balls and 1 strike now on Bourgeois, who again will check in with his manager. One things that you'll find is the managers of both of these teams really control play, both when the team is in the field and when they're at bat.
And we've got a guy.
The throw to first kicks away from the first baseman, but no harm done.
Looked like a little miscommunication with coach and player. 3-1 pitch, you're probably moving on that pitch, and he took off and got hung up in the middle, but the catcher didn't see him.
So Mike Toops will go through a set of signs for both the hitter and the runner at first. We're just underway. 1-0. Gonzales, Louisiana, has jumped ahead. Fly ball slicing out of play down the right field line.
So we've got the runner on the move again. This Gonzales team, they want to put the pressure on the defense, and they've got a lot of speed to do it.
Well, I think they figure they're going to have to put runs on the board. Remember when they met in game 2 of the tournament, the first game for both of these teams, it was Yardley winning 10-9 on a run in the top of the 9th inning. But tonight, Louisiana is the visiting team. 1 on, 1 out, a run in. Foul back. Again, the runner taking off.
Well, I think they want to make a statement early in the game that you guys beat us, and we want to beat you for the championship where it really counts.
And this is a Louisiana team that also lost their opening game in the regional. So they have been facing elimination in all but 2 games that they've played in the regionals and here in the World Series. Breaking ball is high, 2 on. It's only the 6th walk by Eddie Soley in tournament play.
And that's a gutsy pitch, 3-2 breaking ball with that left-handed hitter coming up, and Soley just missed with that pitch. So,
and Gyro hit a home run in the game earlier today. He has 2 in the tournament. 18-year-old James Gyro.
And he's swinging a very hot bat. Very aggressive hitter. He swings that first pitch a lot. And he puts the ball in play.
Hitting .455 in the tournament. That is a hot bat. He has 13 runs batted in, just 1 behind Bourgeois. Hit .309 in the regular season. This is game number 59 for Louisiana. It'll be the 60th game for Yardley, Pennsylvania. Change up in for a strike. Eddie Soley is 6 feet even, 170-pounder. He is headed to Bucknell University next year. Outstanding student. Tried to hold up the off-speed pitch. It's strike 2. Strike 3.
Yeah, that is more than an off-speed pitch. That's more of a ephus pitch. That thing's coming up there about 60 miles an hour. And not too many hitters can wait on a pitch going that slow.
Gyro could not, so Dave Burke, the center fielder, will step in.
It looks like one of the greatest changeups of all time. It fades, it drops. We call that the old parachute pitch, and it's a tough pitch to hit.
Well, we have seen early on from Eddie Soley that he's not afraid to throw the breaking balls, the off-speed pitches. Swing and a miss, and I think sometimes that's how you slow down a hot-hitting team.
Well, that's where a lot of pitchers make a mistake. When a team is hitting hot, you don't throw it harder because they hit it harder. You throw it a little slower just to upset their timing.
Dave Burke hit .282 in the regular season, hitting .296 in tournament play. Runners at first and second, and that is hit. Great play at third. Throw to second in time for the out. Sean Haynes, a tremendous play. Took a base hit, saved a run. After 1, Gonzales, Louisiana breaks on top 1-0. That ball hit very, very hard, but not able to get it past a diving Shane Haynes. Tremendous defensive play.
Oh, that's a great play. He just extended his body, threw his glove out there, and it went in, and he had the composure to come up and throw it to second base for the force.
Well, let's set the starting lineup now for Yardley, Pennsylvania. Meade Tenaglia is their manager. They are 8-2 in tournament play. On the season, they're 47-12, and their lineup begins with the right fielder, Chris Cruson. Batting second is the shortstop, Keith Ballard. Brian Moyer will hit third. He's the first baseman. Nelson Redante, the DH and the cleanup hitter, followed by Joe Ferraro, the second baseman. Then it's Vic Hilliard, the left fielder. He might also pitch today. Mike Murphy will bat seventh. He is the catcher. Batting eighth at third base, and we just saw a great play by Sean Haynes. And batting ninth is the center fielder, John Wakely.
And our defense out there in right field is Luke. And center field, it's Burke. And left field, it's Matassa. And third base, it's Fontenot. Shortstop, Ritchie. Second base, Lambert. First base, Christian. I can't pronounce that word very well.
Bourgeois.
Bourgeois. And the catcher, Fontenot. We have the pitcher, Sheets.
You did a good job on him. Here's Ben Sheets, 18-year-old. He'll be a freshman in Northeast Louisiana next year. 2-1 in tournament play. And he is a workhorse. He is the man. They're not sure how he's going to come back from the complete game shutout that he pitched in game 2 of this tournament.
And when you talk about that game 2, it's only been 3 days ago. When you pitch 9 innings, your arm has to have time to recuperate. And his coach he's worried about it because he's a competitor and he'll grab the ball no matter what. And he doesn't want to hurt this kid's arm.
He shut out Sandy, Utah 7-0. A 2-hit shutout. Chris Cruson will come up, and we talked about how tough it has been for Gonzales, Louisiana, to come through the losers bracket. Let's talk a little bit about Yardley. You know, Pennsylvania has a lot of American Legion teams, and they have 2 teams that qualify for regional play. But because of the fact that they have so many teams, as Cruson takes up high for ball 1, they have a regional before their state tournament. They have a state tournament. And then the top 2 teams, and in the case of Yardley, they were second in the state tournament. They advanced to the regionals. So this is the team as he gets the breaking ball over for a strike. Chris Cruzen and company, they've been on the road for about 3 weeks, have not been home, and they've just been playing with no more than 2 days off steadily for 3 weeks. This is their 22nd postseason game. So that's a lot of baseball in a short period of time.
And that takes a toll on the body. When you don't have any time off, and mentally it's tough, 21 days in a row, 2 days off. Baseball, you eat, sleep. It's tough for these guys. And now they can just taste it. They're at the last game.
Cruzen takes high, and you look back to what happened yesterday. A 13-1 loss by Yardley, the last undefeated team, but he wanted to make sure that 4 or 5 of his kids played a game, got their name in the box score. That is hit hard towards second base. Lambert gets him by a step or two. He wanted to make sure those kids got in, and it's not that you want to lose the game, but you're not as concerned about whether or not you win that game.
Well, it's a format where you can afford to lose and rest your players because you know they got to go again the next day. You get a chance to play all your players that haven't played, you know, every day. So the rest is more important than winning the game.
Keith Ballant, 17-year-old, and the cutoff. You cannot turn 19 before the 1st of August. So we have players ranging from ages 16 to 18, and some who are about to turn 19. Keith Ballant hit .339 in the regular season. He's batting .290 in tournament play. It's 2 balls, no strikes. And because they were the last undefeated team, Yardley has played 1 fewer game in the tournament. Meade Tenaglia, the manager of this team. That's high. Ball 4. A 4-pitch walk for Ballant.
And Tenaglia did say this guy's got a good eye, and he gets a lot of base on balls and that high on base percentage.
Like 46 walks in the regular season. And let's see if they start running and bunting early. Brian Moyer will be the batter, the 3rd hitter, the first baseman. Moyer, a .450 hitter in the regular season. This is the 2nd time that this post has been to the championship game.
Well, I don't think you'll see many straight steals because they respect Fontenot's arm behind the plate too much.
That's hit in the gap in right center field. Luke on the run. He won't get there. It's over his head and up against the wall. Rounding second is Ballant. They'll wave him home. Here comes the throw from the outfield. And they missed their cutoff man. It's a 1-1 ball game. A 3-base hit for Brian Moyer to drive in the tying run. I don't know if they'd have got him anyway, but they did miss the cutoff man.
No, it looks like Sheets gets a little breaking ball. It didn't break very much, and he went with it hard to right center. And he made him pay for a pitch right out of the plate.
RBI number 6 for Moyer in the tournament, and now the go-ahead run is at 3rd base. And early in the ball game, this is unusual. They're going to bring that infield in.
This is one of the things I don't like about this. You put too much pressure on your defense. They're in there tight, and you know, little ground balls can get a run and get another guy on base, and you're looking at a big inning.
Rodante fouls it off. Nelson Rodante hit .412 in the regular season, hitting .357 with 4 runs batted in the tournament. And again, all of the tournament numbers include the regionals and the World Series here in Roseburg, Oregon.
And we'll see how this strategy works for Coach.
That pitch worked 1 and 2 right on the outside corner. Back in 1993, Roseburg hosted the American Legion World Series. Ball strike 3, a couple of perfect pitches.
Yeah, those are called unhittable pitches. They're right out there on the back of the plate, just off the plate, where a hitter has no choice. He either has to swing, because you're going to miss it. That's a perfect pitch.
And you can see how far off the plate he was in the batter's box. No way he could reach that one. The batter is Joe Ferraro, the 2nd baseman. His dad, Joe, is the bench coach. He lines it off the glove of the 3rd baseman, Fontenot, down the line. That's going to score run number 2. And after some hesitation, Ferraro goes into second base. That one is thrown away, but he'll stay put. The ball was hit hard, but right at Chet Fontenot. It's 2-1 Yardley.
Right, this is a play where he had this ball easy, and he took his eye off of it. You know, a little lack of concentration, and it comes off his glove and hits him right in the nose. And then he's got to go hustle up so he doesn't get this guy a double. And hustles in there for a double.
That's the first error of the night. And it gives the lead to Yardley. Yardley now up 2-1. This is Vic Hilliard. An 18-year-old batting .300 in the tournament with 1 homer. He pulls it to third. That is a nice play by Fontenot to cut it off. The throw is up, but he hangs on, and the inning is over. But Yardley, thanks to the error, picks up the lead run. It's 2-1. Yardley, Pennsylvania, after 1 in the American Legion World Series championship game. And from Roseburg, Oregon, ESPN's coverage of the 1996 American Legion World Series. We are happy to have you with us. This championship game is being brought to you by Buick, the official car of the American Legion World Series, and by Gatorade, the official sports drink of American Legion Baseball. Gorgeous scenery, gorgeous countryside. And as we go to the top of the second, Tandem Luke will lead off. Each team getting a number on the board in the first inning tonight. Off to a quick start. Gonzales, Louisiana. Got the single by Matassa, stolen base, and a quick RBI by Fontenot. But right back comes Yardley. The off-speed pitch is high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tandem Luke, the man at the plate, batted .351 in the regular season, and in the tournament he's batting .357. Fastball high and away. 2-1. A run on 2 hits and 1 error thus far for Gonzales, Louisiana. Yardley, Pennsylvania, 2 runs, 1 hit. Swing and a miss. They have the lead, the result of the unearned run in that first inning. And I think important for the Yardley team, after losing 13-1 yesterday, to bounce back after they fell behind in the first inning.
Yeah, because if you get way behind this Gonzales team, it's tough to catch up because they're going to tack on run after run after run.
Fly ball into left field. Coming on is Hilliard, and drops in front for a base hit. Tandem Luke goes the opposite way for a single. And as inning number 1 did, inning number 2 begins with a base hit by Luke. Casey Lambert, the second baseman, now will be the batter. He'll check in with Mike Toops before he comes to the plate. And Casey is having an outstanding tournament, hitting .525. Up high. It would appear that when he tries to go with the hard stuff, it has been up a bit so far, Dave.
He just doesn't have a feel yet. He's got the feel for that changeup, and that's going to be his pitch to keep the hitters off balance. But he's got to establish a fastball sooner or later.
Well, you can tell by looking at his hat that it's been a long season.
He doesn't want to change that hat. That's his lucky hat.
Eddie Soley, we mentioned, an outstanding student. Grade point average of 4.15 and 1340 on the SATs. First team, all southeastern Pennsylvania, is voted by the Philadelphia Inquirer. This team out of Lower Bucks County, in the eastern part of the state. Hit to left field. Hilliard is there as he moves to his left. 1 away. Lambert retired. Chet Fontenot will come up.
Well, I think Soley's done his job because he's let those guys know he's going to throw that changeup, and he's throwing his fastball in there, jamming these guys.
Well, as you well know, you can't sit on the changeup and hit the fastball, right?
There you go. Even if you have that changeup in the back of your mind, you're not quick enough to hit the fastball.
Here's Fontenot, an 18-year-old. Jet hit .297 in the regular season, but hitting .333 in the tournament, and again the fastball is high. We mentioned Gonzalez playing without 4 players. Pitcher Rick Heidel came down with arm problems. Infielder Treg Keller decided to go to school at Southeast Louisiana. August Phelps, an infielder, is not here. And maybe the biggest missing piece to this puzzle is Jeremy Robinson, who was drafted by Tampa Bay and is going to Okaloosa Junior College and decided to go to school rather than come to the tournament. And he was an outstanding left-hand pitcher. Well, they are missing those guys. The runner goes, a late swing, and the throw not in time. Second stolen base tonight for Gonzalez.
And Gonzalez, they're looking like they're picking the right pitch to run on. They run on that changeup. They're going to be safe most of the time. Now, this is a hit and run. He's in there, but his leg comes off the bag, and that umpire, he wanted to call him out, but he was safe.
Got the hand back in there. A bouncer, slow tap to third base. Charging his Haynes, has no play, so he'll just hang on to it. First and third with 1 out following the infield hit by Chet Fontenot.
Actually, that's a nice play by the third baseman, because he could have fired that ball in the second row. He wasn't under control. He knew the guy had good speed, and he just ate the ball. Smart play.
It'll bring up James Matassa, who singled and scored the Louisiana run. First time up. Young man will be a senior at St. Amant High School in Louisiana. Swings and misses. His high school has won 4 of the last 6 state baseball championships. He's also the starting quarterback. He's probably been missing some practice time.
Yeah, we've got a lot of football coaches and soccer coaches mad at these coaches out here for keeping their kids a little longer than they plan.
The thing you have to keep in mind, it's the chance of a lifetime to play in a World Series, as you well know.
Yes, you get to make your mark.
Swing and a miss. He's down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes now. Runners at the corners here in the second, 1 out. Andy Fontenot, who drove in the run, will follow. One thing you can say about most of these players for Gonzalez, they are excellent runners. They have good speed. It's up high. The fastball misses. 1 and 2.
And you'll notice when Soley gets in trouble, he goes to the slow stuff. He doesn't want these guys hitting the fastball.
That breaking ball has popped up. Ferraro backpedals at second base for out number 2. So it will be up to Andy Fontenot, whose base hit drove in a run in the first, if Gonzalez, Louisiana, is to score.
Catcher Andy Fontenot.
Fontenot picking up his 9th run batted in of the tournament. Andy is going to be a senior at East Ascension High School. Interesting, Andy's a catcher, but he went to a baseball tryout camp, and he got on the mound and was clocked at 89 miles an hour, even though he's not a pitcher.
That's just to let him know he's got a good arm.
Runner goes. He's going to get himself in a rundown and see how they play it. The runner at third is out. So the gamble does not pay off. They tried to sneak one in from third base, but cut down at third is Tandem Luke, and the inning is over. Gonzalez, Louisiana does not score. And let's take a look at the final out of the inning.
First and third, you're supposed to get in a rundown and get guys moving, but he committed that guy at third, Tandem Luke, and he's dead to rights.
2-1 as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Welcome back to the 1996 American Legion World Championship game from Roseburg, Oregon. Bottom of the second coming up, bottom third of the order. Well, the gamble did not pay off at the top half of this inning. Brings up Mike Murphy.
And I think that tells you something about Sheets' condition on the mound. Gonzalez wouldn't be taking all these chances if they thought he was up to par and he could shut this other team out.
He gave up 2 runs in the first inning, 1 earned, 1 unearned. He paints the outside corner for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Murphy hit 280 in the regular season, but he's only 4 for 30 in tournament play, 133. But he's not out there for his offense. He's out there to handle those pitchers and to play defense as the catcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Murphy leading off. He's out on strikes. Number 2 tonight for Ben Sheets. Sheets has also walked a batter.
Playing third base.
Number 8 hitter is Sean Haynes. We saw his defense in the first inning here tonight. Sean, a left-hand batter, was a .342 hitter in the regular season. 17-year-old, 5'9", 150, hitting .300 in the American Legion tournament, and it's a strike. And I'll say one thing for Glenn Wood: he's consistent. His strike zone is fairly wide. He's going to call those corners.
Well, he wants this game to move right along, I can see. I think I'd be talking to him a little bit and say that's a little bit outside.
No balls and 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 1 out and nobody on here in the second. Yardley here for the second time. They finished second in 1970, and they were known as Levittown then. You can see a lot of these young men are from Levittown. It's the same post, just it's in Yardley, PA, instead of Levittown now. Gonzales, Louisiana here for the 5th time since 1988, so they are regulars. That's into left field, base hit. Little flare by Sean Haynes. The second hit for Yardley. A 1-out single puts him aboard for John Wakely, the center fielder.
Okay. He really lifts that left leg to get a jump start with the bat. That drives the bat through the strike zone a little quicker when you can use your whole body.
At the knees, a strike to Wakely. John hit .274 in the regular season, but having an outstanding tournament. The 18-year-old batting .419. Did he hold up? Yep, it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Now they appeal, and now he says strike 2. That's what I thought. It looked like he went around, didn't it?
Well, I think that's a catcher's job. Anytime it's close, you should give an umpire a chance to ring him up and call a strike.
And that's what John Magnuson, the umpire at first, did. Pete Misleth is at second. Dave Lesko at third. Left field line is Dave Hall, and the right field line is Stan Brown. That completes the 6-umpire crew for this championship game. Talked to Dave Vaccaro, the first base coach, a little bit. He's a teacher who's taking some time off because the teachers, even though classes haven't started, they were to report. Runner going, hit and run, work to perfection. Base hit right field. Haynes on his way to third.
Boy, that makes a coach feel real good when you draw that thing up on the drawing board. You want to pitch out over the plate. The ball hit right where the second baseman has been, and it's a perfect hit and run. It's a breaking ball high up in the zone, and he stays back and hits it right with vacated zone. Perfect hit and run.
Yardley a chance now to add to a 2-1 lead as they go to the top of the order. Chris Cruzen grounded out to second base to start the game in the bottom of the first for Meade Tenaglia's Yardley, Pennsylvania post 317 team. The first pitch is low and outside. We're in the bottom half of the second inning. The American Legion World Series Championship game, and a bouncer. Second base. There's the flip for 1 on to first. Double play, and that will end the threat. The double play wraps up the second inning. Good, solid defensive play there. Got the perfect ground ball for the double play.
And that's pitcher's best friend. We got a ball hit, perfect double play, nice flip. Gets that runner out of there, and double play.
2-1 Yardley as we head to the third. A beautiful sky here at Oregon on a gorgeous evening. It's kind of cloudy and misty this morning, but you see the full moon tonight. Gorgeous weather for the American Legion World Series Championship game. We're headed to the top of the third. We've had some terrific games so far in this tournament, and we're off to a good start in the championship game. 2-1. Andy Fontenot lifts it in the air, foul, first base side.
Well, you might like that weather, but outfielders hate it because it's that time of night where the lights don't take an effect and you can't see the ball.
1 ball, 1 strike. As far as Andy is concerned behind the plate, his coach, Mike Toops, calls most of the pitches, although sometimes he'll give what they call an ignore sign, which means do what you want.
Yeah, give him free rein to call all those fastballs he wants to call.
2 balls, 1 strike. Lifted in the air to right field. Cruzen is there. Circles under this one way. Fly ball to medium right field off the bat of Andy Fontenot, and that's how we begin inning number 3. The batter will be Reggie Ritchie. He flied out to right his first time up.
Reggie Ritchie.
Ritchie, the 17-year-old, will be a senior at East Ascension High School. Very steady, and in the number 3 spot. Sees a fastball there, but he will see a lot of off-speed and breaking pitches.
Yeah, they got to keep this guy in the ballpark and keep him out of the gaps because he hits the ball real hard.
Lines it down the third base line, a fair ball. Headed toward the corner. Hilliard will track it down. Ritchie is on his way to second with a stand-up double.
Coach Canaglia, he said before the game started, you got to keep these 2 hitters under control, which he's having trouble doing. He's got to try to get Christian right here.
Ritchie's 4th double of the tournament. Christian Bourgeois, who walked his first time up. Bourgeois has 2 triples. He has 8 doubles. And he has 14 runs batted in.
One of the most feared hitters in this lineup.
He's going to, as that pitch kicks away from the catcher Murphy, and moving up is Ritchie.
And that's one thing at a base runner. If you know you got a hitter that they're afraid of, they're going to throw a lot of breaking balls, a lot of slow stuff, so you look to advance a base when it goes into the dirt.
The wild pitch moves the runner up 90 feet. Bourgeois, by the way, we mentioned no one has offered him a scholarship. He will walk on as a freshman at LSU. You know how tough that is at that baseball program. Fouls it back. Bourgeois also is the state powerlifting champion in his weight class. His mom and his dad are both teachers, and he's a terrific student. He mentioned his football abilities as a fullback and a linebacker. Right now concentrating on getting that run home. Kicks away from Murphy, but he keeps it in front this time. A chance to tie the ball game here in the 3rd inning. Yardley leading 2-1, but Gonzalez threatening with a runner at 3rd and 1 out.
If you're Coach Tubbs, this is what you want. You want your RBI guys up when you got guys on base.
Low and away. Ball 3. Keep in mind that the Gyro, who has 13 runs batted in, just 1 less than Bourgeois, is on deck.
So that makes it real tough for Soley to pitch around Christian right here.
Fouls it out of play. The infield is in, although not all the way in.
Which is pretty smart because this guy could probably hit the ball right through you.
They do give a little at 2nd and short. Tied at 1st and 3rd. 3-2 pitch is bounced back to the pitcher, or to the second baseman rather. The throw to the plate is not in time. Tie ball game. Went over the pitcher's head and was played by Ferraro.
Now we're talking about an instinct play here. If it comes right at him, he's supposed to come to the plate, but it goes off to the right, and you give that runner a couple more steps, and he probably should have went to first base.
Very good slide that time by Ritchie.
He did go around the tag, went way to the right, and got that hand in there.
Bourgeois on the fielder's choice will get his 15th run batted in, and it's a 2-2 ball game. Fouled back off the bat of Gyro. A strikeout victim his first time up. So his average drops in the tournament from 455 to 444.
But he does have home run and gap power, so that wind is blowing a little bit to right field. So he turns on one, it could go to the wall or over it.
5 hits thus far for Gonzales, Louisiana. Good breaking pitch. 0-2.
Now he set that in his mind, the old Bugs Bunny changeup right there. That thing is coming so slow that now he's 0-2. He's in trouble. The high fastball should get him out.
Goes with a curveball and does get him out. Second strikeout for Soley. Both times it's been James Gyro.
Here's that great changeup. No, that's a great big slow curveball that drops over and kind of buckles him.
Leaves it up to Dave Burke. Retired on a reached first on the fielder's choice, but a great play by Haynes. That's hit into center field. Coming on is Wakely to make the catch and retire the side. Just one in the inning for Gonzales, Louisiana, but they have tied it as we go to the bottom half of the third inning. It's a 2-2 contest here in Roseburg, Oregon. They come in all ages here in Oregon to watch the American Legion World Series championship game. Good thing she's got on long sleeves. It's a nice, cool evening for the championship game. Keith Ballant, Brian Moyer, Nelson Redante due up. Yardley's lead is gone. It's a 2-2 game as they bat here in the third. Ballant walked and scored in the 2-run first inning for Yardley. Ballant will be a senior at Neshaminy High School in the fall. An outstanding soccer player. No doubt missing practice and maybe some games by being here. He's an all-state forward in soccer. And as a 15-year-old, a member of the team from that part of Pennsylvania that went to the Babe Ruth World Series, and he walks for the second consecutive time.
And Coach did say he had a good eye. Gave him the take side 2-0 and worked the count, 4 balls. Now they got a rally going.
Well, this combination in the first inning produced a run when Ballant walked and Brian Moyer tripled him home. Ballant aboard with nobody out. Way outside. Nice play by Fontenot. A pair of 24s at first as Bourgeois holds on Ballant. Moyer now will be a sophomore this year at Monmouth College. Fouls it back to the screen. And in college, he is on scholarship at Monmouth as a pitcher. So this is the 4th year and final year for Brian Moyer, playing Legion baseball.
And that's quite an accomplishment for a freshman to be on one of these teams.
Runner goes, and the ball is hit to first, knocked down there by Bourgeois. Back to the bag for the out. Another hit and run, and Ballant goes to second. 1 out.
Yeah, we have a hit and run going, and we get another breaking ball high, and they wait on that pitch. Hits it right at Christian, and he does a good job of knocking it down. Spins around and gathers himself and makes the play.
Redante bats now with a runner at second and 1 out. Nelson, who taps it foul, struck out his first time up. Redante, a sophomore this fall at LaSalle University. He is a scholar athlete. He has had some tendonitis problems in his freshman year in college. As a matter of fact, he thought he was going to be redshirted, but late in the year they did play him, so he will be a sophomore. He is a first baseman, the DH here tonight. Outside for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And you talk about smarts. These guys all coming in with 4.0s, 3.8s. I'm afraid to talk to them.
Redante, 1150 on his SATs. Runner at second base as Yardley threatens, and he goes for that outside pitch and misses. First time up, he saw those outside pitches and didn't go for them. He said, well, I might as well take a shot at it. But you were right the first time. They put it in the spot where you really can't hit it.
Yeah, it's a pitch. It's a pitcher's pitch. And if you try to make a living hitting that pitch, you're not going to make a living.
Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Verdante, 5'11", 190, good size. Chopper to third. Fontenot on the run, throws in time. That's 2 gone, and Ballant winds up at third. It's up to Joe Ferraro. Hit a line drive right at Chet Fontenot in the first inning. It went off his glove and down the line for an error that allowed the second run to score. But Gonzalez coming up with a run in the top half of this third inning to tie the ball game at 2. Swing and a miss by Fontenot. Excuse me, Ferraro.
And he did hit that slow breaking ball. He turned on it down to third base, and we'll see if he goes to fastballs this time around.
Does. Strike 2. Ferraro, a sophomore this fall at Pace College. He plays first base and DH in college. A second baseman on the Legion team. At 275 his freshman year in college, and a 3.7 grade point average. Fouls it back. Ferraro, another 18-year-old. Got him on the breaking pitch. Third strikeout for Sheets. The strikeout ends the threat. They leave a runner at third. It's 2-2 as we move to the 4th inning in Roseburg, Oregon. And part of the ceremonies prior to the start of this championship game, the American Legion very much involved with the Buick Motor Company. As a matter of fact, if an American Legion member buys a car, they get a big discount of $500, and in turn Buick donates $100 to that local American Legion post. And to date, the money donated is unbelievable. $3.5 million from Buick to the American Legion.
Sounds like a $250 hitter salary, that's all.
And yeah, in today's market. Yeah. No balls, 2 strikes on Tandem Luke. Singled, stole a base, but was stranded at third. No, he was not stranded third. He was eventually caught off third when they tried the double steal. Soft line drive to short for the first out in the 4th inning. That'll bring up Casey Lambert, who flied out to left. And I'd have to say at this point, these pitchers are starting to get a little better feel for this thing and settling in a little bit.
Yeah, and this is nice hit. He waits on that ball, hits it the other way. Shortstop doesn't panic. Ball's right at him. Makes a nice play.
Now, there's a tendency, and I think it's true no matter where you play, when the ball, if you're an outfielder even, if that ball's hit right at you, that's the toughest play because you kind of have to angle yourself to get a feel for it, right?
And I think the first inning, you had a couple jitters and people were pumped up and ready to play so hard that they were out of control a little bit. Now they're settling into this game and they're playing baseball the way they can.
Hit batsman by Eddie Soley gives Gonzalez a base runner with 1 out here in the 4th inning. Lambert aboard for Chet Fontenot, and the infield hit his first time up. Casey will shake it off over there at first. And you'll see these averages change because of the limited number of at-bats that these young men have had in the tournament. In the case of Gonzalez, this is their 12th game. For Yardley, their 11th tournament game. That includes the regionals and the World Series here in Roseburg, Oregon. Along with Dave Henderson, I'm John Sanders, and it's great to have you with us on ESPN for this championship game. And there have been some outstanding players, of course, produced by the American Legion baseball program. Tried to hold up, but went around. No balls, 2 strikes. Next year we will head back east to Rapid City, South Dakota. And the following year it's Las Vegas, Nevada for the American Legion World Series. Upstairs a ball, 1-2. Fontenot takes a quick look at Mike Toops.
And Soley makes just a courtesy throw just to check and see if they've got something on. Maybe you can see a guy move his foot a little early or something like that.
Runner goes. The pitch is taken. The throw is in time for the out. One hopped it in there, but a quick tag by the second baseman Ferraro, and cut down is Lambert.
And that's a nice play by Murphy because he gets a changeup to throw, and it looks like he was in there, but
let's look at this angle. Oh,
yep.
The ball and the glove.
Yeah, it's bang bang, and an umpire only has one choice, either out or safe, and he called the out.
That is the second out. The count, meantime, is 2 balls, 2 strikes on Chet Fontenot. We saw his ability to charge ground balls in the bottom half of the previous inning. Charging is balanced at short, and they just get him at first. They face the minimum, hit batsmen, but only 3 come to the plate. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th inning of this American Legion World Series championship game. We will see Hilliard, Murphy, and Haynes when we come back with more. Welcome back for the bottom half of the 4th inning of this American Legion World Series championship game. It'll be Hilliard, Murphy, and Haynes coming up for Yardley, Pennsylvania. Looked like we'd see a lot of scoring early on, Dave, but things have settled down a bit.
Yeah, the pitchers and the hitters have brushed off those early jitters and that adrenaline, and they've settled in. Now we got a ball game where some managing has to start to happen.
Now let's talk about post 317. We mentioned the fact that they had to play a state regional, a state tournament, and they went to the regional as the #2 team in the state of Pennsylvania. And that tournament, by the way, was in Bristol, Connecticut. And these young men were all excited because they were at the home of ESPN. They decided, let's go take a tour. Well, they didn't realize that you can only do that when you give them advance notice. Well, it's pretty hard to know that you're going to be in the regional in Bristol, but that's where they wound up. And then when they realized they were going to be in the championship game on Sunday, they didn't really talk about that. They said, hey, we're going to be on ESPN, and that's all they've talked about since. So,
and every kid wants to be on ESPN. Every kid watches the highlights every night, and they just want to make a great play. And I bet you at home those mom and dad have those tapes running.
Pulls the ground ball to Reggie Ritchie for out #1. Well, they're all to be congratulated. A lot of hard work. You mentioned Yardley on the road for about 3 weeks. Mike Murphy, the catcher, comes up now.
Murphy.
Yeah, when you're on the road that long, you tend to run out of underwear. So
Murphy is going to walk on at Scranton College in the fall as a freshman. Another who played in the Babe Ruth World Series as a 15-year-old. Very strong defensively. His arm is considered about average. But he really works behind the plate. Mike just 4 for 31 now in the tournament. Struck out his first time up. And he's down in the count here. You see he chokes up on the bat.
Well, that's another case where you have to be strong up the middle, and it starts with a good catcher to stop base running and keep that ball in front of you when the pitcher throws it in the dirt, and call a great game to get your pitchers through the game.
He got to rest in yesterday's ball game, did not play. He lifts this one into shallow center field. It's the second baseman, Casey Lambert. 2 away. And that's one thing that Meade Tenaglia wanted to do. He wanted to give some of these kids a chance to take a little breather. Some of them are banged around a bit with all the baseball that they've played in the last 3 weeks. Let the body rest a bit. Sean Haynes, base hit his first time up. Sean heading into his senior year in high school. Takes a strike. It's 1-1 at Conwell Egan Catholic High School. And for his coach, Meade Tenaglia, he made the Northeast Regional All-Tournament team and was MVP in the state finals. It's low for ball 2. 2-1. And this is a soccer player, Sean Haynes, who has already missed 7 games. As a matter of fact, the soccer coach called the house because his brother was playing, so he knew they hadn't moved or anything like that. He said, "Where's Sean?" You know?
Yeah,
he's in Oregon.
He's looking for a star forward and his goal scorer, and he's still playing baseball. So that coach is he's kind of putting the pressure on the little brother at home.
That's the 3rd walk by Ben Sheets, who I think by still pitching here in the 4th inning is kind of in uncharted waters as far as his coach is concerned. He said, well, he could go 1 inning, 2 innings, 3 innings. Beyond that, I don't know.
It's one of those things where I'm going to let him go as far as it, the tank lets him go. And
they got the runner picked off, but a high throw at first, then a low throw at second, and he's back safely. They had Haynes dead to rights.
Looks like Haynes just gets a jump, gets stuck out there nowhere. The little slip, but he says, I'm going to get a rundown and hope they make a bad throw, and they did.
He is back safely with 2 outs. Wakely.
And then in baseball, when they give you an out, you're supposed to take it.
That's exactly right.
You never know what's going to happen.
Wakely got a base hit his first time up. The count is 2-1 with 2 outs and the runner at first, Haynes. Wakely then erased on the inning-ending double play in the 2nd off the bat of Chris Cruzen. Slapped into the Louisiana dugout. That scattered a few folks. Andy Webb. That's not Andy Webb. Good ball game going to the middle part of this championship game. Along with Dave Henderson, I'm John Sanders. It's 2-2. Gonzales, Louisiana. Yardley, Pennsylvania. Top of the 5th. Top of the order. James Matassa 1 for 2 tonight. Takes a ball.
And quite surprising, me and you both, we thought it would be a higher scoring ball game with these Louisiana guys hitting the ball hard.
That is hit hard down the left field line. It's fair. Matassa on his way to second. Here comes the throw. He's out. Great throw from left fielder Vic Hilliard.
Okay, this is a hit down the left field line, and every hitter knows it's supposed to be an automatic double.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, it chips up out there, and the outfielder Hilliard, he rounds it. He makes a big, strong, accurate throw.
Remember,
right
he's a pitcher too. Nice tag by the second baseman. Back we come with a base hit to right field, and then an overthrow as they try to go behind the runner. Fontenot is going to try for third. He's in standing.
That's a case where you try to do a little bit too much if your team got a simple base hit to right field. Catcher trying to sneak up behind the guy. Trying to sneak up behind Fontenot, and the right fielder makes an overthrow, and there's nobody behind the catcher. So he ends up on third.
An error will be charged to the right fielder, Cruzen. It's a hit for Fontenot, and he's at third with 1 out. And again, they're forced to shorten up the infield. Ritchie doubled and scored his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Pulls it right at the shortstop. They'll hold the runner. Throw to first. In time. Well done.
So this time the draw in infield, it works, and gets a ground ball right at him. We hold the runner. Nice play.
Let's take a look at the error again.
And Keith Ballant, when he went down for that ball, he kind of strained his knee a little bit, so they're giving him a little break on the field.
Meet Naglia coming out to check out his shortstop. Made an excellent play. A hard hit ground ball off the bat of Reggie Ritchie. So it's up to Bourgeois, who had an RBI his last time up. He's 0 for 1. A run scored on a fielder's choice, but with 2 outs here. take a base hit. Wild pitch, pass ball. To get the go-ahead run aboard, go-ahead run in this 2-2 ball game. Tried to hold up. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Strike one.
That's why you always ask as a catcher. That umpire down the first base line, he has his opinion, so you give it to him.
Bouncer toward third. Haynes is there. On to first. The throw is high, and he's out. Good job by the first baseman to keep his foot on there. So even though they had the runner at third and one away, Gonzales, Louisiana doesn't score. Midway through, it's still a 2-2 tie. Welcome back once again. It's a 2-2 ball game. And just as Gonzales, Louisiana had the top of their order up to the top of the fifth, bottom of the fifth inning, it's the top of the Yardley, Pennsylvania order. Chris Cruzen, Keith Ballant, Brian Moyer. Chris is 0 for 2. Grounded out to second and bounced into a double play.
And this is a time, if you're a hitter, you've had 2 ABs off the pitcher's sheet, you should make an adjustment. And you should be able to get to him, and you've seen all of his pitches, so this should be the round around the lineup that makes a difference. They should score a few runs.
And I would think if you had told Mike Toops, the manager of this Gonzales, Louisiana team, that his starter Ben Sheets would be locked in a 2-2 ball game in the bottom of the fifth, he'd have thought, he probably looked at you like you were nuts.
Yeah, you could tell he's out there pitching on guts. He doesn't have much arm left, but the heart is bigger than anything out there. He's pitching a great ball game.
Hit hard to short. Right there is Ritchie for the first out. So Cruzen retired. Keith Ballant comes up. He's made that nice play in the outfield. Ballant has walked twice tonight. He's the young man with the good eye. Let's see Ballant now.
Yeah, he should dispense with all this stuff and just go down to first base.
Well, he's walked 14 times in the tournament now.
Yeah.
Well, he swings and bounces it to short. On the run, it's Ritchie. He has 2 assists in the inning. 6-3 on both of the first 2 batters in the fifth. And Brian Moyer comes up. An RBI triple for Brian, his first time up. And on the hit and run play, he grounded out. A nice play at first by Bourgeois. Last time up, 2 ground ball outs here in the fifth inning. Strike called. The 18-year-old Ben Sheets. There's a bouncer again left side. Right there is Fontenot. And it's an easy inning, just what Ben Sheets needed. We have played 5, and the American Legion World Championship game is all locked up at 2-2. We mentioned the number of former American Legion players now in the Hall of Fame. The 36th, Jim Bunning, was added to that list this summer.
Well, you look at those names, and it's quite impressive list. And you know, I'm looking for my name and your name. Where are we?
Don't have any problem about my name. It'll never be there. We couldn't even get out of our own region. We couldn't even ever make it to the state tournament when I played Legion ball. But I had a great time, a lot of fun. It's a terrific experience. I think I played 3 years of Legion ball.
And in any case, we can always buy a ticket to get in
That's for sure.
Hall of Fame.
Gyro will lead off. He has struck out twice. I'll tell you what, Eddie Soley has been tough on him tonight. Misses with a fastball outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
And he's been featuring that slow changeup to Gyro, and he's had trouble swinging at it.
Fouls it out of play. Soley has given up 7 hits in the first 5 innings, but he's spaced them well.
And when he gets in trouble, he goes to this off-speed pitch, and he makes good pitches, and he's been able to get these guys out in front, ground balls, double plays, and get out of the inning.
There's a breaking ball that misses. He has minimized the damage. They got a run right off the bat in the very first inning on a single and a triple. And then in the 3rd inning, a double and a wild pitch, and a ground ball got the 2nd run, but he's not allowed them to add on in an inning.
And that's what you have to do with this Louisiana team. You have to keep them off the board, you know, 4 and 5 times. They can score big numbers in 1 inning.
Right back, and look what I found. One away. Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah. This is the old surprise factor. This is a fastball you hit right back where it came from. He throws his glove up and it goes in. And a pitcher never knows how hard that ball's coming at him. They just kind of react and hope it goes into their glove.
Breaking ball pulled toward third, foul. Dave Burke 0 for 2. Grounded into a forced play and flied out to center. No balls, 1 strike. It's been a very well played game so far, even though each team has made an error. It was an early error that allowed Yardley to score its 2nd run, an error charged to Chet Fontenot. Chris Cruzen charged with a throwing error. He's going to come on and make this play for the 2nd out.
And we've seen some great plays too.
That's for sure.
You know, the throw from the left fielder Hilliard to nab him at second base, and the great dive by Fontenot at third base. And we've seen a lot of great plays.
Tandem Luke bats now. He's 1 for 2. This has kind of been typical of the championship this year, the World Series here in Roseburg, Oregon. A bouncer to first, slowly hit, played by Moyer. It's a very quick top half of inning number 6. These pitchers are dominating right now. It's a 2-2 ball game. We will turn to the bottom half of the 6th inning with hitters 4, 5, and 6 coming up for Yardley, Pennsylvania in Roseburg, Oregon. We are back for the 7th inning. And we have a new right fielder, I believe, that Causey has taken over for Tandem Luke in right field. That's out of play to the right side.
Now playing right field,
John Causey.
number 23, John Causey.
And neither me or you saw an injury or anything, so we don't know what happened.
There's the strikeout of Nelson Rodante to open up the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, they have both been playing quite a bit. So at the midway point, he decided to make the change. Luke, who had a base hit, but flied out his last 2 times up, gives way to Causey.
Number 22, Joe Ferraro.
On the bottom half of the 6th inning, and here's Joe Ferraro. Also, Causey is a left-handed batter. So is Tandem Luke. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1 out, nobody on.
Causey has a little bit more speed, more stolen bases, and I guess he wants to get him in there, have him run.
Sheets has retired 6 straight now. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. That's hit hard, but foul. Now for Sheets, 5 strikeouts in the ball game. Gives him 35 strikeouts in the tournament. He has walked 3 as well. Will be a freshman in Northeast Louisiana. Walks his 4th man. He is a 3rd cousin of Andy Sheets, the major leaguer.
And there's a story right there. Andy Sheets playing for Seattle right now. He's made, let's see, 5 trips up and down the AAA this year.
Here's Hilliard. 0 for 2. Grounded out twice so far. Will not catch that when it drops into left field for his first hit tonight. And Yardley now making some noise against Ben Sheets in the 6th inning with the first 2 runners aboard.
Mike Murphy.
Now Mike Murphy, who was struck out and popped up. Wouldn't be surprised to see him bunting in this situation. 1 out, 2 on.
Well, I know Sheets doesn't want him to bunt. He wants to get that ground ball because you know catchers. They always want him to hit it on the ground.
Doesn't offer at the first pitch, which is a ball. Out of play as he fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners at first and second now.
Which we find interesting because Christian, he's holding the runner on first with a guy on second, which you never do. Somebody should look up and tell him we got a runner on second. Don't hold the runner on first.
There's Bourgeois with the runner at first, but also a runner out at second, so he's still giving him that hole on the right side.
Which,
and he's going to try to work it with a fly ball to Causey in right field. The runners have to stay put. Strong throw across to third.
Yeah, somebody should send him a note and say we got a runner on second, and don't hold that runner on first.
Next batter, the third baseman, Sean Haynes.
Well, he apparently got the message.
Okay, and the reason you don't want to do this is you open up the infield, the ground ball through the right side, you score a run, and the runner on first base is on third, so they've got him back now. He's in right position now.
Sean Haynes with 2 outs, 2 on. In the dirt, nice block by Andy Fontenot. Haynes is 1 for 1. He's singled and walked. Sheets out on the mound 3 days ago, a complete game 2-hit shutout. 88 pitches so far today.
Which is a lot of pitches when you just pitched 3 days ago, a complete game.
Good fastball for a strike. 2-1. Sean Haynes now playing third base. This is his first year at that position. He had been a second baseman. Go ahead run at second. And it's fouled out of play. Somebody must have made a nice catch.
It was a nice catch. In these ballparks, the ball gets there pretty quick, and you better watch the game or you can get hit in the head real easy.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another one headed for souvenir territory. This tournament was held here in 1993. And going into this session, the championship game, they had already surpassed the total attendance that they had. Called strike 3. 2 runners stranded. We will head to the 7th inning of the World Series, the American Legion World Series championship game, knotted at 2. You'll notice these teams always huddle after every inning. Gonzales, Louisiana, set to go back to work. It is a beautiful night in Roseburg, Oregon. I'm John Sanders, along with Dave Henderson, and we're happy to have you with us in this 2-2 ball game. I don't know what we expected, whether we'd seen so much offense from Gonzales. We expected them to light it up, but this has been an outstanding game so far.
Well, me and you both, we didn't expect either pitcher to be in here in the 7th inning because Gonzales was supposed to, knock Soley out of the box, but and we have Sheets out there pitching a great game on heart and gut. So
you see Soley's numbers: 7 hits in 6 innings, 2 runs, 1 walk, a couple of strikeouts. You need a new hat next year. Bunt attempt misses by the first batter. Casey Lambert leading off. Casey is 0 for 1 and is flied out to left, been hit by a pitch. And he's going to be 17 on Saturday. He'll be a senior at St. Amant High School. And this young man was the MVP in the regional. Good all-around athlete. He's a contact hitter and a good bunter.
And when they go in that little huddle when they come off the field, I guarantee you, Tubbs would have said, "You got to get on base, little man, and score us a run."
It is getting late. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Lambert lifts it in the air right field. Cruzen is there. 1 away. Hitters 8, 9, and 1 coming up in this top of the 7th for post 81 Gonzales, Louisiana, managed by Mike Troops. Chet Fontenot a single and the ground out. There's Mike Troops.
He's like any other manager, looking for a way to get his team.
Check swing bouncer going to be a tough play for Ferraro, and he has no play. Once Soley could not get there, you knew it was going to be tough. It'll be an infield hit for Fontenot.
And it's a check swing, so everybody's a little bit off balance. This ball jumps up, and this is called a tweener. Right between the pitcher, right between the second baseman. And if you've got any wheels, it's going to be a base hit. And it's a tough play for the second baseman. He can't make it.
8th hit tonight for Gonzales, Louisiana. Upstairs, ball 1. Matassa 2 for 3. Scored a run in the first inning. Louisiana with runs in the first and the third tonight. It's low and away. Ball 2. They called it a strike. Sorry. 1-1.
Nobody liked that. Even Coach Stoops, he looked down and said, "Oh, we don't want to. We'll have to hit that pitch."
We're in the top half of the 7th inning tonight in a 2-2 ball game.
And people always wonder about. They say one pitch doesn't matter, but a 2-0 count, the manager could put hit and run on. But 1-1, he's a little leery.
Ball 2. 2-1. 1 out, 1 on. We're at American Legion Memorial Field in Roseburg. 3 balls and a strike now. And Eddie Soley could be working himself into some trouble here because he's got Andy Fontenot and then Reggie Ritchie and Christian Bourgeois coming up. Strike called. Full count. Does he start the runner here?
Well, I think you have to. You have to manage a little bit and, destroy that defense and get the middle infielders moving and give your team a chance to get some guys in scoring position.
He does not start the runner, and it's fouled back. See some of the folks in attendance here tonight for the World Series championship game of American Legion Baseball for 1996. Start him, but Soley's still going to pay a little attention to Chet Fontenot over there. As the sign, this time he runs. Sharply hit the short, recovering his balance, not in time. That ball was a rocket.
And because he started the runner, shortstop balance, he's got to take his eye off the ball a little bit, and that might have been just enough. Just
going to be an error.
To miss it. Yeah. The runner's going. He knows the runner's going. He's got to play to first base. He can't go to second. And just enough. Takes his eye off of it and makes an error.
That will give Louisiana a chance here in this inning. Fontenot, 2 for 3, comes up. He drove in the first run for Gonzales in the first inning. High for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Constantly checking in with Mike Toops, the manager, at third.
And you see a lot of signs going on. The catcher's looking for a sign from the coach. Hitters are looking for the sign. Runners are hitting for the sign.
And now there's a ball and a strike.
And nobody's happy with the umpire. That's normal, though.
A 2-2 ball game in the top of the 7th inning. Pulled to short. They'll go to second for 1. On to first. Not in time there. Cut down the middle runner. Matassa erased. And most importantly for Eddie Soley, it's the second out of the inning.
And Soley, again, he goes to that slow curveball every time he gets into trouble. He throws it a little slower to these hitters. He gets them out in front. He gets his ground ball. He's got a shot at double play.
You saw Moyer had to come off the bag to make the play. 2 outs in the inning, runners at the corners.
And here's one of the big RBI guys for Gonzalez.
And Ritchie hits it in the left center field, base hit. That will score the go-ahead run for Louisiana. Ritchie delivers. Fontenot scores the run.
Yeah, the old saying, Ritchie says you can get me once and twice, but that slow curveball this time, he's right on it, looking for it, and he bangs it in the left center for a go-ahead RBI.
Gonzalez, Louisiana takes a 3-2 lead. Up high.
And remember, Soley's not out of trouble not yet, because Christian, he can hit the ball a long ways too.
0 for 2 with a run batted in for Bourgeois. Runners at the corners. 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning. Called strike. 1-1. Ritchie picking up his 8th RBI in the tournament. Bourgeois has 14. Gyro, who's on deck, has 15. There's the breaking ball for a strike. 1-2.
And Christian should just give notice, because he's going to have to hit a breaking ball. He doesn't want to challenge him with that fastball. If it's a fastball, it's going to be out of the strike zone, so he can set up the breaking ball.
9 hits now for Gonzalez. He went for it. It was out of the strike zone. The strikeout will end the inning. But Gonzalez, Louisiana, comes up with a run and takes a 3-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. We're in Roseburg, Oregon for the American Legion World Series Championship. And there is a salute from the Midland, Michigan team to Tom Mees, our colleague at ESPN, and all of us are saddened by the loss of one of the original members of the ESPN staff, Tom Mees. It is the 7th inning stretch. You can see the outfielders trying to stretch a bit along with the fans as we bring up John Wakely, Chris Cruzen, and Keith Ballant to the bottom of the 7th inning. Good ball game, 3-2, Dave.
Nice ball game, nice played ball game, and the players are taking advantage of every opportunity. And you know, the guys that are supposed to come through with the RBIs, they're doing it.
And Ben Sheets, with a terrific performance by him. You see the totals as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Gonzalez 3 runs on 9 hits. Yardley only 4 hits off Sheets so far. And only in the 2nd inning did they have 2 hits. Wakely has one of those 4 hits, singled and struck out tonight. High and tight, ball 1. Called strike. John Wakely played as a freshman last year at Bucks County Junior College. He will transfer to Lock Haven College as a sophomore this year on a baseball scholarship. And a member of the All-Pennsylvania East All-Star team. And that's interesting because that is a team we select in the East and the West. It's done through tryouts, and it's done by scouts. Bouncing ball to short. Low throw. Excellent pick by Bourgeois at first.
And we did have a lot of scouts. Yeah, we got a high hopper, and he ran hard, and he made it a nice play. And He almost beat that thing out, but we had a nice play by Bourgeois picking that thing.
Top of the order, Chris Cruzen. 0 for 3. Hit the ball on the ground all 3 times tonight. Takes a strike. How about Ben Sheets pitching into the 7th inning?
Well, I think there's one thing scouts can measure. They can measure your fastball, how fast you can run, but they don't have a machine to measure how big your heart is yet. And,
down the right field line, that one's going to slice out of play.
And this kid, if it's on the Richter scale, he's got a big, big, big heart.
Well, they told us today at the meeting we had with the coaches that he's the man. He is a man. He'll take the ball no matter what. And he'll give you everything he's got. He has done that so far tonight. It's a bouncing ball to second. The high hop to Lambert. Throw to first just in time.
Well, there's no quitting this Yardley team because they're running everything out hard, and they're making every routine play bang, bang at first base.
Well, that is 11 ground ball outs. They are really beating Sheets' pitches into the dirt. Here's Ballant. He has walked twice and grounded out. Scored a run in the first inning when Yardley took a 2-1 lead. Gonzalez then came back to tie it in the 3rd and squeeze ahead with a run in the top of this 7th inning. Breaking ball is high. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. A little bit inside with the fastball. Made the comment, Dave, that you thought that Ben Sheets was kind of forcing it up there early in the ball game. He seems to be pitching a little more free and easy now.
Well, some pitchers, you give them that 1-run lead, you know, in the 7th, and then they can smell that victory. They get that second tank and second win, and he's reaching back for a little bit more.
They appeal? No, he said he did not go. The count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And that's out of play, so we're still at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Here's another mini battle Sheets has to go through.
And he loses that one. That is his 5th walk in the ball game to go with 6 strikeouts.
Batter, first baseman, Brian Moyer.
Give the number 3 hitter, Brian Moyer, who is listed as a switch hitter, but does not feel that he's comfortable enough with that at this level to switch hit, so he's been batting right-handed. Moyer tripled in a run in the first inning. Since then, he's grounded out twice. Strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike. A 2-out walk has Ballant on at first in the bottom of the 7th inning. Into right field, base hit. Ballant stops at second, 2 on with 2 outs. Second hit tonight for Moyer.
Next batter, designated hitter.
And here's another nice piece of hit. He gets a breaking ball, and it's tough to wait on a breaking ball and shoot it to the right side like that, but he gets on top of the ball and hits that open hole to the right side.
Gives Nelson Rodante a chance to tie this ball game with 2 outs. Rodante has struck out twice, grounded out. He fouls it back, 1-1. There are 2 outs, 2 on. A couple of ground outs, one by Wakely, one by Cruzen to start the inning. Then the walk to Ballant. And Moyer, the single to right field. Fly ball, left center field. Going over is Burke. He won't get there. Drops for a hit. The tying run scores. 3-3. Right back comes Yardley.
Redante, he gets a breaking ball out on the end of the bat. And he hooks it in the left center. It just doesn't have enough steam on it to get out there to Burke. And it falls in for a base hit, RBI.
And with 2 outs, all of this happened with 2 outs. They still have runners at first and third for Ferraro. 0 for 2, reached on an error and has walked and struck out. 6th hit for Yardley tonight, and it gets him back even. 3-3. Fastball misses away. What a battle, huh?
Well, right now, Gonzalez, they better be looking for the first and third stolen base, try to steal that run home, because tie ball game, you got to try to get that run home any chance you can.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. 2 outs. At second base, a funny hop. And it's a Yardley 4-3 lead as Casey Lambert could not field it cleanly. Yardley, Pennsylvania is in front.
Well, it's a ball, another ball hit on the end of the bat, and for an infielder, when the ball's not hit hard, it has a chance to hop up on you, get you a bad hop, and that's exactly what it did.
It is another error charge to Louisiana. That takes a crazy hop over the third baseman's head. Here comes the runner trying to score. Here comes the throw cut off. And it's now a 5-2 lead for Yardley, Pennsylvania. Going to have to give Hilliard a hit and an RBI there. But the inning should have been over on the ground ball to second.
Well, that's when they talk about baseball. You'd rather be lucky than good. And this is a routine ground ball to the third baseman. It hit something and bounced right over his head for an RBI.
A 3-run 7th inning for Yardley, PA. They have the lead. I'm sure some of the fans say warm up another pitcher, which they will, but this is hardly Ben Sheets' fault.
No, not at all. I mean, a pitcher's job is to get a ground ball, and he's done that. It's just 2 bad hops in a row. They're tough to handle.
These last 2 runs are going to be unearned runs. So he has allowed 5 runs, but only 2 earned tonight. Mike Murphy 0 for 3. One ball, 1 strike. Still runners at first and second, with Hilliard at first and Ferraro, who reached on the error at second. 7 hits for Yardley, and the breaking ball is high. 2-1. And we do have pitchers warming up for Gonzalez, Louisiana. That one is pulled foul, slowly toward Meade Tenaglia, the manager of the Yardley, Pennsylvania post 317 team. Trying to take the hardware back to Eastern PA. If they can get through the 8th and 9th.
This is where, if you're a Gonzalez infielder, you want him to hit it hard enough to get to you so you don't have time enough to think. Those slow rollers, you have too much time to think, and you tend to make an error when you think too much instead of react.
3-2 pitch with 2 men on and 2 outs. All of this started, Dave, after the first 2 had been retired on fairly routine plays.
Started with a walk, usually does.
That 2-out walk to Ballant, base hit by Moyer, RBI single to by Redante, then the error, and then Hilliard, the bad hop base hit, pop foul, out of play. Popped up. Back comes Andy Fontenot, but you hear it hit the roof.
We had a better shot at that ball than he did.
That's right. Yardley, Pennsylvania now has Gonzalez, Louisiana in a hole. 5-3 ball game, thanks to this 3-run 7th inning.
And this is another one of those mini battles you got to win if you're Sheets, if you want to win the ball game.
He did not win it. Loads him up. Second walk in the inning for Sheets. And Sean Haynes will be the 9th to bat. Heading to the mound right now is Mike Toops. You'd have to say that Ben Sheets has really pitched his heart out. He's got the bases loaded and 2 outs. 3 runs have scored, 2 of them unearned.
If you've ever heard one of those conversations on the mound, the manager goes out there and says, "How are you feeling?" Of course, the kid's going to say, "Yeah, I can go." So he tells him he can go, and he leaves him in there.
Sean Haynes.
He will leave him in to face Haynes. Just the bad news for Ben Sheets was the walk of Murphy, who had really not done much at the plate tonight. Was 0 for 3. Haynes has singled, walked, and struck out. Breaking ball, ball 1. And you can bet they'll be very patient at the plate now. He's walked 2 in this inning, a couple of hits. And that error on the second baseman, Casey Lambert, mixed in right in the middle of this mess. There's a strike, 1-1.
And you're facing a pitcher that's running out of gas, so you got to be really selective as a hitter. You got to sit on a fastball and hit it hard.
High, ball 2. They are full. Ferraro at third, Hilliard at second, and Mike Murphy on at first. And Yardley with a chance to punch a big hole in this one, but that's a good pitch for strike 2. Struck him out. It's a 3-run 7th inning for Yardley, Pennsylvania. We will go to the 8th tonight in Roseburg, Oregon. It's a 5-3 lead for Yardley. A 3-run bottom of the 7th for Yardley, featuring a couple of unearned runs, has turned this game upside down, and Yardley now leads by 2 as we go to the 8th inning for Gyro, Burke, and John Kazi. Still out there now with a little room to breathe is Soley.
Yeah, we've been concentrating on Sheets, but Soley's pitching a great ball game. He's mixing the pitches up. He's working on that slow curve ball, and you know, he's up there to that century mark, pretty close to it. So he should be reaching down that gas tank and nothing else left in it.
Well, the Yardley bullpen goes to work. Left-hander begins to warm up. In fact, a couple of left-handers maybe preparing to warm up. We've got J.D. Wolfson as a left-hander and Jeff Rugg as a left-hander. That's Jeff Rugg. You see those curls? As a Rugg. Strike call. Gyro is 0 for 3. Struck out a couple of times and hit a bullet right back to the pitcher, and Soley made the play. The line drive out. Out in front. Strike 2. I'll tell you what, Eddie Soley's done a heck of a job of mixing up his pitches, hasn't he?
And Gyro, he really doesn't like that slow lollipop curveball, and he's seen about 10 of them in this game.
That one's in the dirt. 1-2.
Soley says he doesn't like it, so I'll throw it a little bit slower.
Now, Gyro has been the hottest hitter on this team during the championship. Strike 3 called on that breaking ball. Not tonight. He's 0 for 4.
It's another quality pitch out of Soley. He threw 4 out of 5 pitches, breaking balls right there. And he starts it over the outside corner and breaks it down in the strike zone. And you know Gyro's looking for it, but he just can't pull the trigger. It's a perfect pitch on the outside corner.
The other plus for Yardley, every time that Gonzales, Louisiana has scored, they've come right back. For example, in the first inning, Gonzales scored. They answered with 2. Gonzales then tied it. When they took the lead in the 7th, right back comes Yardley with 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning.
That's baseball. You got to match them. When they score, you score.
High fly ball, well hit left field. Back is Hilliard. Plenty of room. 2 away. And conversely, if you're going to win the ball game and you get 3, most important, you come out that next inning and shut them down.
That's true, because your offense just put 3 runs on the board. You want to go out there and put a 0 up so you can get them right back out there hitting.
Outside with a fastball. Causey batting for the first time tonight. The 18-year-old fouls it back to the screen. Very good left-handed hitter, steady, solid defense. Not as fast, maybe, as the man he replaced. Tandem loop. Can't catch up with that fastball on the outside part of the plate. A ball and 2 strikes. Top of the 8th inning. Swing and a miss. A 1-2-3-8. And Yardley, Pennsylvania, comes stalking back to the dugout for the bottom of the 8th, knowing they're just 3 outs away from an American Legion World Championship here in Roseburg, Oregon. It's 5-2. Yardley has the lead. Along with Dave Henderson, I'm John Sanders, and we will start the bottom half of the 8th exactly the way we started the bottom of the 7th with John Wakely. And he was retired, as was Chris Cruzen, and then the trouble started for Ben Sheets. Foul back. You got to give Sheets credit. He's still out there.
He has pitched a whale of the game, and when he had to reach back for that fastball, he reached back to strike out a few hitters.
Strike 2 on the first hitter up, Wakely. Remember that of the 5 runs, 3 of them are unearned. Wakely had his hit back in the 2nd. Flag down in the hole by Ritchie, but he'll have no play. Infield hit for Wakely. His 2nd tonight.
Randy Ritchie, he gets his feet moving. Nice shuffle step, anticipation, cuts the ball off. Got good feet.
But going that direction, he knew he had no chance to throw out John Wakely, so he simply held the ball. Cruzen, 0 for 4. Drops his tournament average to 276, and that's a big tumble. He was hitting 320 coming in. There's a loose ball down the right field line. Chased down by one of the pitchers who's warming up. That is Chet Chambliss there. Throw behind the runner at first. He's back safely. Cruzen showed bunt early, and he takes ball 1.
Looks like Tenaglia, he wants to put another run on the board to put this thing out of reach.
Still just a 2-run ball game. 5-3. There's the bunt. Comes right back to the 3rd baseman. He doesn't even look at the runner to 2nd. He goes to 1st for the out. 5-3 on the sacrifice bunt. Runner at 2nd, 1 out.
Next batter, the shortstop, Keith Fallon.
We have perfect form, bat out in front. He catches it with the bat and puts a little deadening on there. It's kind of tough to do with aluminum, but he deadens the ball so he doesn't bunt it too hard. And perfect sacrifice bunt.
The batter is Ballant, who has walked 3 times, scored 2 runs. And it was the 2-out walk to Ballant that really started the trouble for Ben Sheets in that 3-run 7th inning. Ball game now in the bottom of the 8th. Good breaking ball. Strike called. 1-1. Meade Tenaglia. His ball club now just 3 outs away from an American Legion World Championship. That's into center field. Base hit. They'll try to score the runner. Burke up with the ball. The throw offline. 6-3. Yardley. That bunt pays off.
And that's a big, big insurance run when you're going into the 9th inning. You know, that 3rd run, it's tough to get. And we got nice hit, and he gets a ball up and lines it right back where it came from, the center field. And the center fielder doesn't have much of a chance. Runner off second gets a great jump. And
you think he wants to score? I think so.
Oh, that's a World Series trot to home plate.
John Wakely touches home. Violent with the RBI. His 6th in the tournament, and a strike called on a breaking pitch to Brian Moyer. Still just 1 out in this inning. That out, the sacrifice bunt by Chris Cruzen. Moyer's had a couple of hits. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. We'll step out and check in with Meade Tenaglia. Runner goes, pitches a ball, throw is right there, but it's the shortstop was late getting over to cover. It'll be a stolen base.
Yes, he did. He got a late jump, and when he got over there, he was way behind second base. The throw was on target, but he had no way. He says, my bad.
Yep, and he's right.
Yeah.
If he's there, they probably get him out.
He's way behind the bag. He didn't know he was covering. He was going to back up, so.
And the ground ball out. Runner advancing to third, 2 gone.
So that's a mental mistake by Reggie over there, and you know, it might cost him.
Well, we'll see what Nelson Rodante can do. He delivered an RBI on a base hit in that 3-run 7th. Hits it hard on the ground to second base. Lambert up with it. Side retired, but 1 more tacked on. We will go to the 9th inning. Yardley, Pennsylvania, just 3 outs away, and they are up by 3. Gonzales, Louisiana, coming up for the top of the 9th inning. We are ready for the top half of the 9th inning of this American Legion World Series Championship game, and you can see Yardley picking up that big extra run in the bottom half of the 8th. It'll be Lambert, Chet Fontenot, and James Matassa due up. And they need base runners big time. Eddie Soley trying to go the distance. They did have a couple of lefties warming up earlier, but Eddie said, hey, sit down, boys. I'm in charge here.
Well, the way he walked off that last inning.
Look at that curveball. Strike 2.
Your manager's got to notice that body language when he walked off. He wanted the ball. And he left him in there.
High for a ball. If it stays this way, though, you look at the team from Louisiana shorthanded with only 14 players coming in. And they will have pitched their 5th consecutive complete game, even though it's a loss. Ground ball to third. Haynes in time, 1 out. Chet Fontenot due up. Chet tonight has a couple of base hits. He's 2 for 3. Lifting his tournament average. It's high for a ball. But down by 3. Louisiana needs base runners.
And lots of them, because you know, they don't have the home run power that you would say go hit a 3-run homer. So they got to manufacture them.
Well, they had hit 4 home runs in the tournament. And Yardley has hit only 2 in the tournament. Keep in mind that Gonzales, Louisiana, got 2 of those home runs in the game that preceded this one. That played them into the championship. Looper, it drops for a base hit. There's a start with 1 out. Fontenot has his 3rd hit today.
There's a good fastball by Soley. He rides it up and in on Fontenot, and he fights it off.
He jammed him, but he got enough of that bat on it to drop it over the head of Brian Moyer for a base hit and maybe set the table for the top of the order.
The wonders of aluminum.
You got that right. Matassa, 2 for 4. He scored a run. One strike on him. In the dirt, blocked nicely by Mike Murphy, who for the most part behind the plate, Murphy's been flawless tonight.
Oh yeah, he hasn't been running back to that screen very much, and that's how you judge a catcher. You throw out a few guys and you don't run back to the screen.
One wild pitch so far by Soley. He's back in the 3rd inning. Reggie Ritchie, who had doubled, moved up on that wild pitch and did score on a ground out. So that wild pitch wound up costing Eddie Soley a run. Strike called. That has been a strike all game long, so you might as well go after it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, 1 on. Soley trying to improve his tournament record to 2-1. Swings and misses. No, he got a piece of it, I think. Foul ball. So they'll bring the runner back. And Dave Henderson will head downstairs to prepare for some post-game interviews. And if they score 3, Dave, you'll have to come back. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Third ball a little bit high. Yeah, makes it 3-2. Trying to get the tying run to home plate with 1 out here in the 9th inning. Out of play. It's still 3-2. So the battle continues between James Matassa and Eddie Soley. Toops knows his team is down to its last couple of outs. And what a battle. And Matassa fouls another pitch right at home plate. Now don't be surprised by anything that happens, because this Gonzales, Louisiana team has been looking at elimination ever since the first game of the regionals. They lost their opening round game and came back to win the regional. Same thing here in the World Series, a loss to Yardley in the first game, but the tying run worked. The 3-2 walk. Soley allowing just his 2nd walk. He walked the batter in the first inning, but now it's 2 on with 1 out, and Andy Fontenot is going to have a chat with Mike Toops. While Meade Tenaglia looks on, there's nobody warming up in the bullpen. As a matter of fact, the entire Yardley team is perched on the top step of the dugout, hoping they can begin the celebration, but not yet. 1 out, 2 on. High, ball 1. That 27th out is always the toughest to get. Here's the pitch. Ball 2. Keep in mind one other thing to consider for Yardley is in Pennsylvania, which is a great state for American Legion baseball, but they had printed up their rules prior to the start of the season with National League rules for the pitcher batting. Then the National American Legion, and that's a strike, came out and said, hey, we're going to play American League rules. So the Yardley team played National League rules until they got in the tournament, and then started using the DH. 2-1 pitch, right field. Cruzen is there. The runner tags at 2nd, goes to 3rd, and they're not worried about him. More important, they've got the 2nd out. Chet Fontenot goes to 3rd base on the fly ball out by his brother Andy. And Reggie Ritchie, who delivered a base hit in the 7th inning to give his team a short-lived 3-2 lead. And Yardley came right back and scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Added 1 more in the 8th. Now it's 1st and 3rd in the 9th with 2 outs. Gonzales, Louisiana will not go quietly. Christian Bourgeois is on deck. And Ritchie has an RBI, 2 hits, 2 for 4, and a run scored. High, ball 1. Strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike. They're ready. All they need is 1 more out, and the celebration will begin. Probably what's left of Eddie Soley's hat. will be gone. Strike 2. Gonzales, Louisiana could be down to their final strike. Not quite. Just missing with the breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Full count. 3-2. Soley got Casey Lambert on the ground out to start this inning. Fontenot got a base hit. And Matassa walked on a 3-2 pitch. Andy Fontenot flied out to right. 3-2 pitch. Bouncing ball to short. This could do it. There's the play across the diamond in time. And Yardley, PA can begin the celebration. They are the American Legion World Series champions for 1996. The long road trip, about 3 weeks worth, is about to end for Coach Meade Tenaglia, Joe Ferraro, his bench coach, and all of those outstanding 18 players who made the trip here to Roseburg, Oregon. They will take the championship hardware back east to Eastern PA. The final tonight, thanks to a 3-run 7th inning, Yardley, Pennsylvania wins the American Legion World Series for 1996 over Gonzales, Louisiana. Our final is 6-3, and we'll talk to the winners when we return. By a score of 6-3, Yardley, Pennsylvania has defeated Gonzales, Louisiana to win the American Legion World Series championship for 1996. It was an outstanding pitching performance by Eddie Soley. He pitches his 2nd complete game of the World Series. He's standing by right now with our Dave Henderson, who has also got the manager there as well. So let's go downstairs right now. David, take it away.
Hey, first of all, Ed Soley, great game. The first thing I noticed when you came off in that 8th inning, you looked like you wanted to pitch the 9th.
There was no way he's going to be off the 9th. I told him I got it in me, and the whole team had a lot of heart out there. We were all injured, all hurt, and it was great. And I lasted out. A whole bunch of relief and tension and stuff. It's unbelievable. Okay. That you guys are taking this trophy, this World Championship, back to Pennsylvania, and it's been a long road. And how's that arm feel? Oh man, a lot of ice, a lot of rest. Go to college. Let's go to college tomorrow, but tell the coach I'm done for a while. But this victory makes me feel a lot better.
All right, congratulations.
Thanks.
Coach Tenaglia, you got a big smile on your face. And
this is the greatest thing. I never expected this. Back in May, I talked to these guys, and I told them we mentioned Roseburg, but it was a dream. Our aim was to win our state. We didn't win our state, and there was only one thing that could ever compensate for that, and that was a world champion. Not even a regional championship, but a world championship. Even coming in 2nd here wouldn't have made up for not winning our state. And this kid, here's a kid that's pitching on 2 days rest, and he just kept getting people out, coming up with big pitches. This kid's, I can't say enough about him. The road we had to go through, man, we had so many teams in our state that we had to go through 2 of these tournaments there, then to the regionals, then to here. We've been on the road for 3 weeks, and we're beat. We're beat. We're done. We're glad it's over. I mean, and we're glad it ended this way. One team would win, and that was it. At the end of all this, there was only going to be one winner, and that's us, and I can't believe this.
All right, thanks, Tenaglia. We love you because, you know, that long road trip, it's tough, and you guys won it, and you can take the trophy back to Pennsylvania, and great job out there. A lot of heart.
You were a great player, Dave.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate everything.
Okay, let's go back up to John.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. And you can tell the happiness these young men have after the 3-week road trip. They will take the championship hardware back to Eastern Pennsylvania. We'll be back to wrap up the 1996 American Legion World Series in just a moment. ESPN's coverage of the 1996 American Legion World Series here in Roseburg, Oregon, has been brought to you by Buick. Buick, the official car of the American Legion World Series. And by Gatorade, the official sports drink of American Legion baseball. Final thoughts about the championship won by Yardley tonight after this.
And veterans asking you to become a part of our community service.
The American Legion World Series championship goes to Yardley, Pennsylvania tonight. 6 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. They left 10 men on base. For Gonzales, Louisiana, 3 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. They stranded 9 men tonight. Solely goes the distance, his second complete game in the World Series. His record in postseason play, tournament play, is 3-1. Sheets takes the loss. He is 2-2. And as the boys from Yardley celebrate a little bit, what they really wanted to do was get on ESPN, and they did it in a big way here tonight. But I think you have to look at young Mr. Sheets. Dave, he pitched his heart out tonight.
Well, I kept talking about those mini battles he was in. You know, the 3-2 counts, the 2-2 counts, where a hitter fouled off 4 or 5 pitches, and he got him out and got him out of the inning. But the baseball gods did him in, the bad hops, and the ball just didn't find leather when he needed it, and gave up a couple of unearned runs and couldn't get it done.
Well, in that 7th inning, remember, he had 2 outs, nobody on. He walked the man, and that really kind of turned things around. A couple of hits followed, and the error mixed in that made it 2 of the 3 runs that really decided the ball game in the bottom of the 7th inning were unearned. But you can't go out of here without congratulating these guys from Gonzales, Louisiana, who played shorthanded the entire week that they were here and still came ever so close to a championship.
Yeah, they were within 6 outs of, you know, receiving all that joy and adulation, taking the trophy back home. But like you say, they were shorthanded, you know, 14 guys. It's tough to go, you know, 3 weeks in these tournaments with 14 people.
The one thing is you never know when you come to this tournament is exactly what you're going to see, because you wonder about the defense, you wonder about the quality of play. But it seems like every year that we come here, these young men at this level of American Legion baseball do a heck of a job. We had a terrific game here tonight.
That was a great ball game, and I've talked to a few scouts, and they had 25 scouts here earlier in the week checking out all these players, and they're on the books. They've got their times, height, and skill. Some of these guys are going to get drafted.
Well, keep in mind that Gonzales, Louisiana, as we take the trophies back to Yardley, Pennsylvania, and that guy has to be very happy, Eddie Soley, because he was the key here tonight with the complete game victory. You know, in his first complete game, he gave up 9 hits. Tonight, he gave up 10 hits. It's not how many hits you give up, it's whether you win the ball game, and that's what he did, right?
And he told me in the interview, he said, that manager, Taleglia, he said, no way he was getting him off of that mound in the 9th inning, and he wanted the ball, and he closed the door.
Yardley, Pennsylvania, the 1996 American Legion World Series champions. They will take all of that hardware back to Eastern Pennsylvania. They celebrate, and we say so long. For Dave Henderson, I'm John Sanders. Thanks for being with us. We say good night from the American Legion World Series in Roseburg, Oregon.